How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to Ealing. Things going pretty well here at the moment. We're sitting just shy of $400 million. We've got all of these new towns and cities in the south that are growing and expanding with their new industries and their public transportation lines. It's going pretty well. But I did make a promise in the last episode and in the episode before that. Well, I made two promises. One of the promises was that the episode would be out tomorrow in relation to when that last episode went out, and that didn't happen. I can't remember why that didn't happen. I think I ended up watching a bunch of Western movies and got slightly distracted. I also had to carry a couch into the yard on my own. That was a whole thing. But I did learn. I'm going to zoom out a second here and move the camera around so the video is actually interesting to watch for whatever reason. And look, very quick story time. I sat on a couch in the middle of my yard, this nice big 3-seater leather sofa, just in the middle of the driveway, and I discovered why that's like a stereotype in certain parts of like the United States. I've never felt, there was a certain sense of freedom that I felt sitting on a couch in the driveway, just looking at the street. It was great. My cat was on the couch as well. I was waiting on someone driving past and just giving me a look. It was an experience, and weirdly, I would recommend it. It was a good time. Anyway, that promise number one didn't happen, the whole video tomorrow thing, but promise number two was that we were going to go in and micromanage some of the lines that we have. And so I want to get started in Ealing, which is going to be the place that has some of our most recent lines. We obviously started bringing goods and construction materials into Ealing, and we're doing the same thing with Blackburn as well. Now, the reason I want to look at this is because we do have a bit of an excess of plastic up here. And the reason we have a bit of an excess of plastic is because this place is currently consuming roughly 318 grain, which is fine. But if we go and look at production here, production is currently 159. If we look at this line, the rate is currently 176, which is weird because that would imply that the rate is higher than production, so there shouldn't be a bit of a tailback. I might have just looked at this at the wrong time. Regardless, I know for a fact there is a little bit of something going on up here because this line in particular has a rate of 439. So we're bringing 440, let's say, grain, or sorry, not 440 grain. We're bringing 440 grain, which would translate to 220 plastic, except we're not bringing 440 grain because you have to remember that this farm that we're bringing this from all the way up here in Helston, it can only produce 300 grain at a time. So this is going to be the first thing that we micromanage. We're going to go in here, manage the vehicles, and basically I'm going to get rid of 10 of these guys because we only need a rate of about 300. And this line will be full. So there's 331. Let's go ahead and get 2 more vehicles out of here. That's going to bring us down to 309. And I'm okay with that. There's still a little bit of extra space, but that is going to be much, much better. And it's still going to run exactly the way we want it to. We are probably, well, actually, no, we're not going to end up with an excess of plastic. In fact, what we can probably do is go in here and bring this down to roughly 150. So if I go and sell 2 of these vehicles, that's going to bring us down to 149. That's fine. That's about perfect. That is exactly where we want that to be. So that's working nicely now. That's exactly the way we want that to be working, which is a beautiful thing. I also want to take a look at everything else we've got going on though, because obviously this plastic is going to be heading down to here and getting turned into goods. So we have 149 plastic coming down here. So let's have a look and see how much steel we have coming down here. So this guy, 149, steel, 157. So we do have an excess of steel as well. We could probably get more plastic if we wanted to. We could potentially head up to these farms as well and start bringing some grain from those farms down to here. It is an option. It is a thing we can do. We do also have to remember that there is goods production down here as well. So there's a few things that we can do here. I might honestly consolidate this all into a single line. It might have been a terrible idea to do the multiple lines, but we'll start as we mean to go on, and we'll start by trying to micromanage just a little bit. So we do have more steel coming in here. which is fair enough. What I want to check, though, is what I set the rate to be on the iron and coal lines. So about 400. That could go up to 600 if we wanted it to, which would give us a massive boost to steel production. And I'm honestly tempted to do that because what we can do is use the excess steel to make tools down here. These factories are super close together. And the reason we'd want to make tools is because Blackburn wants them, but also Askern wants them, or Askern wants them, and Heswall wants them as well. So that would be a good little bit of production to get going for a bit of extra money. So what I'm going to do, I guess, this counts as micromanagement because simply put, I'm increasing the lines and making them more efficient for more production. This counts as a part of my goal. So what we're going to do is pin this, and I'm going to go to these guys, manage the vehicles, 402 right now. Let's just duplicate another 2. That brings us to 435. Another 2 brings us to 470. Another 2 to roughly 500, I'm guessing. 503. Another 2 will bring us to 537. Another 2 to 570. Another 2 should bring us to 604. Okay, so that's fine. It's a little excess, but 604 is fine. We'll do the same thing with the coal line. 402 right now. Manage those vehicles. Pin this guy. And I'm just going to duplicate 4 of them at a time to try and do this a little bit quicker. So that brings us to 459. That should bring us to roughly 510, 516. That's fine. This should bring us to 575. Let me just duplicate 1 at a time so I don't go too crazy with this. This should give us roughly 604. Perfect. So we're going to have a lot more steel coming in here, or coming out of here, which is totally fine. In fact, if we take a look here, we should have production at roughly 300, if not more. If we look at the suppliers, these guys are both shipping 600. Transport will probably increase. Consumers shipping 182, 182. That should go up to roughly, I would assume, 300 each, which is fine. So these guys need to be micromanaged a little bit better. So pin this, go to you. 151, manage those vehicles, just clone it. That'll give us roughly 302. And then for the slag one, 179, manage vehicles, just clone all of them. And that's going to give us, what, roughly, 360. Let's go ahead and take 4 of these guys out and see where that leaves us. 264, give me 2 more of them, please. And is that going to give us roughly 306? Okay. So that's fine. We're going to be moving more steel, we're moving more slag, and it's a knock-on effect. That's going to mean that we have more bricks that we can produce as well. We actually have a bit of a tailback for the Ealing bricks. So if we look at consumers, Ealing is shipping 163. And I'm assuming this is an annual rate. So 163, if we look at you, you're at 140 right now. Give me 2 more vehicles. That gives us 168, that's perfect. So we should see the Ealing brick delivery improve just a little bit. And hopefully that's just going to make things better across the board for all of these production lines. It is going to give us a massive excess of steel down here. We already have an excess of steel down here. So I think the next thing we want to do is probably go ahead and actually try to bring a bit more grain into this factory, because we can level this thing up as well. We can make this thing better and more efficient, and that's something I think we should do, but I'm just not sure where to get the grain from. I mean, we could, again, consolidate this all together. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to grab grain from somewhere. We've got these guys up here. We actually have these 3 farms up here. So I almost wonder if it would be an idea to go and expand this particular depot. So if I go to cargo and I say, you know, this is going to be our output right here. This is where we're picking up the grain from. So something a bit like that. If I expand this though, it doesn't necessarily need to be as huge as I'm going to make it here, but I'm going to do it this way anyway because I am, basically. It's me, all right? Efficiency is not the name of my game. I hate to say it. I'm going to try my best today, but it's wishful thinking. If we're assuming this is going to go well, it's wishful thinking. So what we'll do is go ahead and get a couple of these guys in here. We'll go ahead and do a couple of the smaller buildings as well, just a little something like that. We'll do, I guess, a nice building right about there, nice building right about there, and we'll get a couple of these guys just along this side as well. So something a bit like that seems fine by me. We can get a couple of the small ones in there just to nicely border this thing, make it look the part. And that is basically going to be where we're picking up a bunch of grain from. And the way I want to do this is I want to connect all of these farms to this road. I want to start bringing grain from those farms to this depot. And then this is just going to become like a central hub for the 4 farms. It's maybe not the most efficient way to do things, but it's the way I'm going to do things. You know that feeling when you get really convinced about an idea that you've had and you're thinking, man, this is going to be good. This is going to work. This is how I should do things. And then you go ahead and sort of do it, and you get the roads in here, and you get the new road coming over this way, and you get ready to start connecting all these farms together. And then you think, all right, we're going to bring the grain down here. We're going to start moving it down this way and turning it into plastic, and it's going to be a great time. And then you zoom out. And I don't know if you've spotted what I've spotted yet, but there's a reason that my idea is maybe not as good as I thought it was. And that reason is because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 farms up here. We're using Helston Farm already. But just to the left of Helston Farm, there is a chemical plant. There's a chemical plant where I could send all of this grain and then just grab the plastic from here and ship it down. It would take about the same amount of time because you have to remember, we're already shipping grain from here. So I could just set up 4 grain lines to bring plastic, or well, grain down to here, and then a single line to bring this plastic all the way down to here. Now that might be a bit of a distance. I mean, it is a bit of a distance. It's definitely a bit of a distance. But then you also have to take into account that there is in fact a goods factory up here. So if I could get maybe planks or paper or silver, I could make goods. Now, how would I go about getting planks, you might ask? Well, it just so happens that there's a forest right here, and across the water, there's a sawmill. In fact, there's a forest even closer to the sawmill. So I'm feeling like a bit of an idiot. I'm feeling like a bit of an idiot. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely feel like a bit of an idiot right now. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I think that's the way to micromanage this, is just put all of these farms into this one plastic factory and see what happens. I don't remember what the max is on this for production. I think it ends up being, I don't know where it maxes out, so I guess we're just gonna find out. I'm really kind of annoyed at myself for not catching this sooner, but I think what we'll do while we get this set up is I'm going to keep that one farm going down towards Ealing and whatnot. We'll keep that line that already exists, and we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how this goes. I realize this is sort of, I'm not going to say I'm getting sidetracked from what my goal of today's episode was, because I'm still planning on going and fixing some things, but I want to do this. I want to do this because I feel like an idiot, basically. I really do. I'm also thinking I'm going to push a tunnel straight through here, because that seems like it would be a great idea, just to connect this all together a little bit. Although I'm also thinking I might just do a little curve or something like this. Is that a bit much? That might be a bit much. I'm gonna allow it for now. I'm gonna take this guy back, and I'm gonna just get a bit of a better curve to connect these roads together. So something a little bit like that should be just fine. It's not exactly a super fast road, but it will do the job, which is sort of what I'm looking for it to do. So that connects straight through there. Oh man, I can't believe I might have spotted this. I might have already spotted and pointed this out. I don't remember, but regardless, we've even got tools production right here. We've got machines production. We have so much production around here, and I've just ignored it. I need to pay more attention. I need to pay more attention. It's that simple. So here's what we're going to do. We've got this chemical plant. So buildings, we want a truck station. We're going to have 3 drop-off points. So we'll do 3 platforms on the left. We'll have a single pickup on the right. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go one better, and we're going to say that this is going to be the drop-off point right here. I don't really care what way the vehicles go. I don't care if one sort of comes in this way. It's just I want them to have a dedicated drop-off there. and then a single... I also feel like the platforms being on the right would make more sense, but whatever. We'll have a single platform on the right for pickup right about here. So we'll go ahead and put this guy right about there, should be fine. And that's going to be our pickup point. When it comes to all of these guys, very, very simple. Just going to be a bunch of truck stations. And I'm genuinely a little annoyed. I'm a little annoyed that I didn't catch this sooner, but it's fine. It's all right. Let's get this in here. Let's get this done and let's see what this is going to look like. And so just like that, we have a whole bunch of new lines. We've got 3 lines going to be bringing grain from these 3 farms down to this chemical plant. We have 1 line that's going to bring the plastic over to this goods factory. And then up this way, we have a line bringing logs to the sawmill, and then planks from the sawmill to the goods factory, and then goods from the goods factory down into Helston. So that's going to be sort of the end goal at the minute, is to give Helston some goods and get this place up and running in a super efficient way. Ooh, the Lockheed Super Constellation. I'm going to have to remember that we have that. We've actually got a couple of options there for planes. That's very exciting. All right, we'll take a look at those in a moment, because what I need to do now is get a bunch of vehicles. And honestly, my goal with these vehicles is going to be to get enough to just max out these grain lines. I'm going to go and just see if I can max these out, really. So buy some vehicles. We're only moving grain, so we can use the tipper truck, and I'm gonna buy 20 of them. 4.7 million. We're moving grain. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna put all of these guys on. Let's see, it's way down here. Grained plastic 1 is what we're looking for. So if I grab you and I look at this line, you've got a rate of 393. Okay. That's fine. Let me manage some vehicles. Let me go and sell 4 of them and see what that does. 314. That's fine. There's a little bit of excess there, but that's honestly okay. So what we can do now is pretty much the same thing. We can go to here. We can grab a bunch of the tipper trucks. I'm going to grab 20 of them again, and we're going to get them all painted up in, we're going to go slightly different colors, I guess, just because I can. So we'll paint them up like that. And these guys are going to go on to grained plastic number 2. And we'll go ahead and buy another 20 of them and see if that ends up being enough for all of the lines. So we'll go ahead and get them painted up in that color. And this is going to be good old, where is it? Woodham grained plastic 3. So if we take a look here, this is plastic number 1. That's plastic number 1. That's plastic number 2. 342. Manage vehicles. Let me sell 1 and see what that does. That brings us down to 325. Sell another 1. Brings us down to 308. Okay, that's not bad. Now I just need to find a vehicle that's for line number 3, which is this guy, which is 182. Interesting. Okay. Manage vehicles. Give me, I'm going to say another 5 of them. And that's going to bring us up to 228. Another 5 is going to bring us to 273. And another 2 is going to bring us to hopefully 300. 292. Okay, give me 1 more. 301. Perfect. All right. So all of these guys are moving out. They're all going to be grabbing grain. They're not going to be super efficient right off the bat, because what's going to happen is, because they're all going to the same destination, this place is going to be getting enough grain from a single farm right now. So that's to be expected. That's totally okay. My goal is to essentially overload this thing. That's kind of the goal long term. So we'll see how that plays out. What we can do in the meantime is go to here and start getting the logs and planks line going. So you and, well, this guy can carry all of them. So give me 20. Actually, yeah, give me 20 of these guys. And this is going to be for the logs. So that color, and I think it was Deal was the name of the town. Yep, logs to planks right there. And I'm curious to see what that line looks like in terms of its rate. 595. Okay. 5 shy of 600, which is the maximum production here at the forest. So that's honestly okay by me. Let's go ahead. I guess we're going to be moving eventually 300 planks, right? If not more. We'll go ahead and be a little cautious with this one. We'll go ahead and get, let's grab 10 of these guys, and we'll go ahead and paint them up to be that color. And that is going to be Deal planks to goods. And then we need something for plastic as well. So that's going to be, if I remember right, the tarpaulin truck. We'll go ahead and grab, say, honestly, 10 of those is probably fine as well. $1.9 million. Get them painted up in that color. And that is going to be, I don't remember which one that's going to be. Is it a wooden one? Yeah, plastic to goods. So that's sorted. I think the only thing we need to do now is get the goods going into Helston. So let's, I suppose, get a couple of tarpaulin trucks. We'll go for 3 of them. We don't need to go too crazy on it. We'll get them to be maybe just sort of a grayish color. And that is going to be the Helston line. So that is this one right here. All right. So that's now a full setup. We've now got everything ready to go. We just kind of need to wait and see what's going to happen. That's kind of where we're at. So production wise, we're going to let that be. We're going to let it sort of run and figure itself out. And we'll come back and look at it in a little bit. Because what I want to do is I want to come back down towards, I guess, Penrith and Erith and Ealing specifically, because we should, or could potentially, have an excess of things going on here. We actually don't have excess steel. We do have an excess of bricks, which is good. We should have an excess of steel down here. We absolutely do. And then looking up this way, I mean, production here could be better. Production here could definitely be better. I do think bringing more grain here would have been a good idea as well, but we'll leave it be for now. I'm not super concerned about it. I will say we're producing really nicely here. What is my steel line doing? So steel to goods is 251. I mean, it's doing all right. I was kind of expecting this to be producing a little bit more. I mean, production is up there. 626 is pretty good. So, I mean, we have a little bit of excess steel. I'm wondering if we should maybe start up the tools production and start taking tools up to Heswall, Askern, and Blackburn. Or alternatively, I stick to my promise and we leave these places for a little while whilst everything gets set up, because oh my God, there are so many people waiting to get on a train here to go to Norton. Good Lord. I also need to update. Oh my God, I need to upgrade all these train tracks. Oh, I don't love that. I don't love that that's a thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to update the stations as well. Oh man, that's going to suck. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to update the plane lines first. This one, air passengers, is losing money, so that's fantastic. Passengers, let's see. So, interesting. We've got the Douglas, we've got the Bristol, and we've got the Super Constellation. Is the Super Constellation? It is better. So yeah, replace all the big aircraft is incompatible with small airport. Oh! Oh, now hold on a second. We need an actual airport now. Oh, it's huge. I forgot that this was a thing. Oh, okay. That changes things. We're going to have a little bit of a look at that at some point. Wow. All right. I wasn't expecting that. Huh. I'm going to have to look into that for sure. We're going to have to get that airport sorted out. Norton, in terms of passengers, is honestly not too bad. Why is it then that, is Bingham just this busy because of the number of people? Maybe, I guess Bingham is the hub for Whitehaven and Middlewich. And I suppose you can also get in a train from like Penrith, go to Middlewich, then up to Bingham, and then you maybe want to transfer towards Norton. I've also, I should mention, I've had a couple of great suggestions for what we can do with some of these cities, and one of my favorites so far was a suggestion to essentially knock out a massive chunk of Norton and build like a grand central station in here, which I do like the idea of doing that. I just dread to think how much money that would cost, but I do think it is a cool idea. Also, Norton brick delivery seems to have a bit of an excess going on. I'm wondering if we should get a couple more trucks here, or potentially just replace them, because I think those are the Opel Blitz trucks. So a capacity of 12 versus capacity of 11. It's actually less. Interesting. Okay, in that case, let me just go ahead and get, I'm going to say 3 more of them. We'll get 15 vehicles in that line and see how it goes. That might improve things just a little bit. Get a few more bricks around town. When it comes to the tools delivery, We only have 4 vehicles on that, so just give me 2 more of those as well. So we'll get those moving around a little bit better, and hopefully that's going to help the town just a little bit. So now, let's turn our attention to this. I've mentioned balancing. I've mentioned it so many times. This guy, I dread to think what I'm going to have to do with this. So production. Production's actually not that high. Interesting. So booze to food to delivery is, it's always this line. It is always this line. The rate is 202. Production is actually almost 300. So that's basically why this has so much excess. So managed vehicles, there's 30 of them. Give me 5 more, and that brings us to 235. Give me 5 more, that should bring us to 270, roughly. 269, I'll take it. That should help us out, and that'll give us more food production. I mean, food isn't necessarily lacking, but it could be better. So 100% we'll get that moving a little bit better right there. And then I suppose we can also turn our attention to any of the other industries that we have around here. This one, for example, where are you supposed to be taking all that? Grain to booze, number 3, rate of 94. Production is currently 300. I think we could probably get away with, what are these trucks? These are the Benz tarpaulin trucks. These are old tarpaulin trucks. Good Lord. Okay, we need to upgrade those, and that's going to bring us to 161. That is much better. It's not perfect, but it's considerably better. There's also a huge amount of traffic trying to get into town here. That's kind of wild. Can I maybe upgrade that road? Is that gonna be an option? Is it gonna mess with me? I don't think it likes it. It doesn't like it right there. That little bit of road's gonna be a problem. Okay. Can I don't, I'm gonna have to bulldoze some stuff here, because we need to improve that road, I think. So if I bring you sort of straight down and across, oh, you do not want to do that. Okay. Is this going to be an option at all? It's kind of looking like it's not. Why is it not an option? I wonder if it's the catenary that's kind of in the way. Can I bring it down here? No. Can I bring it anywhere? No. Wait, maybe I can do it there. I can do it there. Interesting. I don't love that I'm maybe going to have to offset this road a little bit. But I think I'm going to have to offset the road a little bit. I think the road's going to have to sort of go here and then be connected over. That's going to look terrible, but I think it's about my only option. So do this. Do this. That looks absolutely awful, but it's what we're going to do. Bring this back a little bit. And then give me just like a little something down there. And just upgrade all of this. We're gonna have to move some buildings, but that's fine. There we go. That looks dreadful. That looks terrible. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. We're taking out some train tracks here. We're gonna make this right. There we go. That is much better. I've also taken a bit of time while doing that road, connection. I've gone ahead and upgraded all of the train tracks to high-speed rail. I didn't bother doing it in the stations because honestly, it's really tedious to do that and I can't be bothered, but at the very least, trains can now go faster between the stations, which is hopefully going to be good for us. I'm also fairly sure that the trains are going to be kind of limited in how fast they can actually go because I think the wagons are still kind of slow. But I suppose we can take a bit of a look and see what's going on. So we got some nice locomotives here. We still got the A4. We have got some electric options. We have no diesel options. And then for passengers, I think we're using this guy, right? 75 miles an hour. Oh, okay. So they should actually be able to get up to a decent little bit of speed. We might just need to go around and replace a whole bunch of our trains. For example, this guy is what is this? That's tools to everywhere. We might want to fix up these trains. They're kind of miserable looking. They're kind of sad looking. So manage vehicles. Let's go and have a look at them and see what we can do. Oh, I can't close that. So let me see. Manage vehicles. So what? Capacity of 120, maximum speed of 50. I feel like we can do better. I do feel like we can do better. This is also train 1. This is the first train that we ever got, which is 35 years old. Oh man. All right. So a class A4. We'll go ahead and put that on there. It's going to be moving tools, so let's make it that color, I guess, similar to the old one. And then the wagons are going to be, I guess, these nice box cars right here with a pretty good capacity on them of 13. So, I mean, let's just make these guys the same color. I think that's what we'll do. Let's just go for the same color. The capacity this time around could be 130. It's a shorter train as well for 130 capacity, which is not bad. Let's go a little higher than that. We'll go for 195. That might be a little bit too long though. Let's bring that down. Let's go for 156, maybe 143. We'll go 143 on that. And that should be fine. So modify, well, I guess I'm gonna have to modify all of them, aren't I? So let's very quickly go in and just cut out all of the components on these trains and see what exactly we can do here. So take out all of those guys as well. We want to go back to train 4. We want to go to Steam. We want to get U, and we want to add one there, and then for cargo, it is the nice big box car. We want to go ahead and say as many of these as we need to get up to 143, and the same down here as well, up to 143. So modify $52 million to do that. That's fine. And that's honestly not a bad looking train. It's really not. It's kind of a cool looking train. I don't hate that. And that's also going to be faster for Midhurst. It's going to be good sort of overall. It's a little bit of micromanagement, a little bit of an improvement. And then I guess this guy is probably a similar story. This is the New Mills Bricks line, which is losing us tremendous amounts of money. But what I'm thinking with this is that I think it's still using the old flat cars. So it is going to be kind of slow. It's going to be limited in speed. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to sell a whole bunch of these. I'm going to go and modify train 2 and we're going to make it better. So train 2 has a capacity of 205. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those are tank cars. So what I'm going to do is take out all of these guys. We're going to go to the flat cars with side stakes and we're going to make them, this is bricks that we're moving. So we'll go for sort of a nice reddish orange color. And we'll go and do, I don't know, up to a capacity of 169, I guess, is fine. And then the tank cars, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there at the end. It's quite a long train. I have a feeling that might be long. How long is this train currently? Can I see the length of it? 294. Can I bring that down a little bit? Yeah, same length right there. So that should be fine. So modify for 9 million and then duplicate and duplicate. We're not going to go for as many trains this time around because that line was already losing money. So we might as well just be careful with it. And I guess we'll just see what happens. We'll see if that maybe improves it a little bit. We'll see if that ruins it. We'll see if it makes money. I'm not really super concerned about it. We'll just give it a bit of time. Now, a little something that I would like to turn my attention to is actually up here in Clitheroe, where we haven't been in a while because we have just so much crude oil sitting around. It's kind of wild how much of this stuff we have sitting around. The rate on this line is 474. We can go and manage those vehicles. We can probably replace them with this guy, and that'll be a great little addition. That's going to bring us to 881. Oh my God. That is a lot higher. That's a very high rate right there. Let's go and sell 10 of those vehicles. Brings us down to 705. Let me go and sell, I think, 5 of those vehicles. And that'll bring us down to 616, and that should be fine because I'm pretty sure production here is 600. Yep, that's perfectly fine. So these guys are going to be moving so much now. That's kind of wild. Production here should be pretty good. And then for these guys, I mean, it's going to be similar. It's going to be a similar story. It's oil to fuel and delivery. Let's go ahead and manage these vehicles. It currently has a rate of 98. Replace with this guy. And that'll give us a rate of 182. Oil to plastic, manage vehicles, replace with these guys. And that should be fine as well. 306 is the rate on that. Now, I will say, I'm pretty sure the balancing on that is going to be terrible, which is fair enough. Peterlee Chemical Plant specifically has shipping of 130. So this guy could probably come down kind of considerably. We'll manage these vehicles. I'm just going to go in and basically tear out probably about 15 of them just to try and make this a little bit more balanced. We'll probably add more vehicles to it eventually because, you know, that's going to be the long-term goal. But we'll just leave it like that for now. It's a lot of vehicles. It's a lot of stuff going on, but it'll be fine. I should probably also upgrade some of the roads up here so that the trucks can go a little bit faster on them. So some nice medium country roads around here will be kind of great, I think. Just let these guys travel nice and quick between all of their destinations. Same with down here, same with down here and here as well. And of course, all the way around this this coastal road too needs a pretty good upgrade if the game wants to do that. There we go. Same with down here, and I think, yeah, they go through the mountains as well. So get all of this upgraded just like so. And that'll be a little faster for them. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but it's definitely going to be better. And hopefully, you know, hopefully that works out. Hopefully we start to see all this stuff move a little bit more than it already is, and that would be lovely. So that's, you know, a little bit of micromanagement, a little bit of balancing right there, right? We're sticking to the plan. We're getting this micromanagement and this balancing done. That's the goal. I should probably look at this place as well, to be quite honest. There are so many machines wanting to go to Norton right now. Good Lord. Wow. That's kind of wild. Norton has a shipping of 119. So Norton Machines delivery, yeah, it could do with an upgrade. All right, let me replace these guys with that is the sour tarpaulin truck, isn't it? Okay. So basically just duplicate these guys and that should cover us. It's a lot of vehicles. I don't love that it's a lot of vehicles because this place is already quite busy, but that should help us out. Midhurst Machines delivery. Consumers, Midhurst is 62, whereas the rate on this is 41. So managed vehicles, duplicate 2 of them. That'll give us up to 58. That's fine. That should get things moving a little bit better as well. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully it fixes things. I do want to go ahead and have a look up this way though, because I want to see how my production's going. So we have, good Lord, that's a lot of slag sitting around right there. Hold on a minute. Have I got my rotation? What? I've got my rotation way off. Where am I looking at this? I need to figure myself out. Hold on a minute. This isn't even the one I set up recently, is it? No, is it? I've got no idea. My camera rotation's throwing me way off. I've got no idea where I am. I don't think that's what I was looking for. It's this place up here that I was looking for. I just got really confused for a second there. Good Lord. All right. So how's this going? We've got some plastic. We've got some planks. Is this place getting goods? It is not. Why? Why is that place not getting goods? What's going on? Hold on a minute. So you are trying to level up, which is fair enough. All right, that's good. What is going on? Oh, you guys are all murdering each other. That's your problem. You go to platform 1. You go to platform 2. That'll help them out a little bit. So that'll help the grain delivery, which is good. So this guy is actually hopefully going to level up. We've got some plastic sitting here. That'll be fine. How goes the plank production up this way? So this is producing 600. This line is moving 632. So managed vehicles, get rid of like 1 of them. And that'll give us 601. So that's going to keep us a little bit better there. We're not going to be running an empty truck all the time. This guy is doing all right, I guess. We could be moving more. If we look at consumers, we're shipping 100. This line is currently moving 123. So that's probably fine. It's probably not the end of the world. We'll see if that sort of figures itself out a little bit. Oh, there we go. This place has actually managed to level up, which means that we can now produce more plastic, which is beautiful news. Hopefully that means that we're going to see these farms have a little bit more production as well, because in theory, what we should now see is a nice increased demand for all of the grain, and so that would be a good thing. That's kind of going to be the goal here, is to have as much grain coming in here as is possible. And that should mean, as a result, more plastic, which should mean more goods. which is good. That's the goal. That's what we're looking for. It's more goods for everything. Speaking of more and everything, we probably want to take a look here and see if we can't sort out this issue getting the tools down to the train. So these are the Benz tarpaulin trucks that we're using to do that, which is fine, but I'm almost certain, again, so what is the capacity? It's 7 on those, it is 12 on the Opel Blitz, and it's 11 on this guy as well. So let's use the Opel Blitz to start moving stuff down there. That gives us a rate of 600, which is considerably higher than it needs to be. So let's go ahead and take out just 10 of those. That'll bring us down to 300. Still higher than it needs to be, but it's fine. It's fine. Let's see, tools delivery as well. Manage those vehicles, replace them with the Opel Blitz. That's going to give us ridiculous amounts of rate on this line as well. But honestly, I'm not super concerned about it. We're just going to get more stuff moving over here, which is exactly what we want. Looking at the station as well, we might want to get another train here. This guy just pulled in. He's full, 143 on board. There's 205 sitting here, unless there's another train about to come in, which it doesn't look like there is. It really doesn't look like there is. Interesting. I will be honest, I'm kind of wondering if maybe I've got too many trains on this one line up here. It does look like they're all moving. This one isn't, but for the most part they're getting around. I do think getting another train here would be good though. So let's manage these vehicles. Give me train 1, clone train 1, and that'll get us a rate of 392. I don't know if that's exactly what we're looking for, but it's hopefully going to help things a little bit. In other good news, we have a bunch of food in here now, ever since I think we improved that Norton line, so that's not bad. The only issue really is just how much traffic there is trying to use this this particular road. So let's upgrade this guy and see how that plays out. A lot of traffic trying to get into town here as well. Good Lord. Yeah, we might need to do a little something here to try and improve this. It's kind of wild looking just how busy some of these roads are. Hopefully that helps traffic at least get around that corner. The only issue is I can't upgrade this because obviously there's a station right there. So that does pose a bit of an issue is what I'm getting at. I don't love that we're having this as a bit of an issue here. But we'll see. I mean, I can't upgrade this either. I'd have to sort of take out the road and completely rebuild it. So, oh my God, there's so many vehicles in there. What is going on? Should I feel like I should upgrade some of these vehicles. Hold on. Bingham Food to Train, for example, it's that yellow line. It has a rate of 162. Manage those vehicles. There's 20 of them. Replace those, because what are we using? We're using the Benz tarpaulin truck. Use the Opel Blitz and get rid of like half of them, right? And we'll have pretty much the same rate that we had. So get rid of 10 of these guys. 139 is fine. That's totally okay. What else have we got in here? I think all the other lines in this space are... Wait, no, you're an old one. You're an old vehicle. Bingham Food Delivery, 64. Manage vehicles. Replace you with the Opel Blitz. And I guess get rid of like, I don't know, I want to say like 7 of them would be an idea. So get rid of those guys and see how that plays out. And again, that'll hopefully help traffic a little bit. It's fewer vehicles coming and going here. So, you know, a little bit of micromanagement, right? A little bit of micromanagement. All right, so I've upgraded some of the lines up here as well by new mills. I've basically just replaced a bunch of the vehicles and tried to get things moving out of here a little bit quicker because we are still wanting to deliver, you know, fuel and construction materials into new mills. I've also changed this up a little bit so we can move more oil sand at a time, which means that we should end up with more fuel as a result. So it's kind of a knock-on effect there, and we'll see how that goes. But what I'm realizing is that we've never actually set up any public transport around new mills, and I kind of want to do that. And there's a very specific reason that I want to do that, and it's because we just unlocked a new bus, and so I figure we might as well put it to some use. So we'll go in here, we'll get some buildings, we'll go and get ourselves a bus and tram stop, and we're just going to run some bus stops around new mills and see how it goes. I'm also thinking is that it might not be a terrible idea to go ahead and run a bus that goes from New Mills down to anywhere else. I also didn't mean to put that one right there, so we'll get rid of that. But what we can do is, new line, and basically just go the entire way around New Mills, and I'm sure they'll be grateful for it, right? A little bit of public transport around the town, they'll have a great time. So this is road passengers, it is New Mills, and it's going to be loop 1. And I guess in terms of a color for it, we'll go for, I don't know, we'll go for a very bright green, just to be a little bit different with it. So let's go ahead and get some vehicles. We'll go ahead to buy them. We'll go to passenger. We've got the Mercedes-Benz 6600. It's a pretty good looking vehicle. We'll go ahead and get 5 of those, and we'll paint them up in, I don't know, bright yellow. I don't know if it really matters what color we paint these things. Let's go for, I don't know, let's maybe go for like a two-tone kind of thing, like a sort of dark kind of bluish gray on the bottom. I don't know. What about that? Well, that's maybe a bit too dark. What about that one? That's interesting looking. We'll try that out. So road passengers, New Mills is what we're looking for. I think I've gone past it. Yeah, New Mills loop 1. So that's it right there. Helston's demanding food. That's kind of cool. That is a really cool looking bus. I really like it. I really do. I like that a lot. Okay, so here's the other thing I want to do. I do think this might be an interesting idea. We'll give it a shot at the very least. We're going to go from there, basically all the way down into Whitworth is my thinking. But what I'm going to do is have it be that stop right about there. Seems like a good spot. So road passengers, it is New Mills, I guess, / Whitworth is how we'll sort of call that one. And we'll make it, I don't know what color we went for in the last one, to be completely honest with you. I think it was that like lime green right there. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and get ourselves a few more of those buses. I'm going to say 10 of them. That might be kind of excessive, but we'll give it a shot. And I'm also going to say stick to the same sort of color scheme because it looks kind of mean. And we're looking for road passengers. We're looking for New Mills to Whitworth. There we go. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if it ends up being a popular line or not. I'm kind of hoping that it will, because that way we can get more people into New Mills and get New Mills growing a little bit. And I guess while we're here, we could probably go to line statistics. We can pin this for a second and take a look at things. So balance-wise, we're still losing money on this line. I don't love that. We're still losing money on the air passengers as well. I don't love that. But what I want to do is sort by name. And I want to go to road passengers. And I basically want to just replace all of my buses. That's kind of where I'm at. So we've got like a lot of different buses in here. This is going to take a second to do, but honestly, it's probably worth it. Just replace them with these guys, 4 million there. These guys as well. Going to be another, 2.9 million. I don't know how many of these lines are tremendously successful. I'm not really super concerned with the lines being tremendously successful. I mean, most of them are making a little bit of money, so I'll deal with that. It's not the end of the world if they're not making, multiple millions. I think it's probably just a worthwhile. It's a worthwhile investment. We've done a lot of stuff with bus loops and stuff like that, so we might as well kind of keep it going. And it would be nice at some point to go and improve all of these as well. And maybe that's something that we will. That is probably something we're going to have to do. Is go and basically, I don't want to say replace all of my bus lines because there's a lot of them, but we might need to go and look at improving them because as the cities grow, the bus lines generally, they stay relatively central. They don't really expand because I don't expand them. And New Mills now wants tools, not bad. I'm assuming New Mills is about to start growing really rapidly, which is neat. I just don't know if I'm prepared to, provide for the demands that place is about to have, but I guess we'll take a look at the projected statistics for it here in just a sec. How many bus lines have I got? Good Lord. I forgot we had trams as well. I should do something with those. And by do something with those, I mean, I should probably replace them as well, but we'll do that in a moment because I want to do my buses first. In fact, no, trams, replace. So we're still using these old ones, aren't we? Good Lord. Wait, what are we using? Yeah, we are using this old one. Wow. Okay. What have we got? We've got this guy. The Type T1 is faster and, well, carries less people, but I think it being faster by 12 miles an hour is worth it. So We'll go for that upgrade. And then for the rest of these bus lines, same story as before. We'll go for the Mercedes. We've got 3 more to go. Some of these guys are making money. Some of them are not. Hopefully a better bus means that people will be like, hey, I want to get on the bus now. It's not a miserable looking little open top thing anymore. It's not a, 50-year-old bus. So there we go. We've got all of those upgraded. We've got the trams upgraded. We've got new mills up here, which is projected to grow quite substantially. So that's good news. We don't have that many people wanting to get around, but I think the connections are going to make it worth it. So that's not bad at all. This place right here is running into issues with excess everything, which is to be expected because this is now running super efficiently. So all in all, I think we're doing all right. We've also managed to put a dent in the amount of brick just sitting in this station now, which is lovely news. This guy is going to take a little bit to load, but that's whatever. This line in general is still losing money. Oh, we need to bring something back. That's what we need to do. We need to be bringing something back here so that we can justify all of this. What can you move in terms? So you can move logs, you can move planks, you can move steel. I wonder. So hold on a second. Have I got like a forest down here? Because that train goes all the way to Norton, right? Isn't that what do you do? So you are, yeah, bricks to Norton, fuel to Bingham. Okay. So what if I went to Norton and I said, use this forest to load up that train and then drop off the planks in New Mills, or drop off the logs in New Mills and turn them into planks? Is there anywhere nearby I can make tools with those planks? It doesn't look like it. That might be a way to make that line make money though. Have it start moving logs up this way and then we have to figure out what we're doing with the logs. It might be a way to go. It really might be a way to go. Now, in other exciting news, just before we move to wrap things up for today, this place, the South Woodham Farriers chemical plant, has upgraded again, which is lovely. Production is hopefully going to increase really, really well there. We do, in fact, have an excess of goods up here now as well. Helston goods delivery is struggling, is what it's doing. So we're going to want to move some more of this out. So consumers, Helston 100. This guy has a rate of 70. Give me 2 more of those vehicles, and that'll give us a rate of 116, which is lovely. That's exactly what we're looking for. That should help Helston to grow a little bit. It's got a little bit of projected growth, but because it has no destinations, no one's really interested in going here. So I think, honestly, that might have to be my next goal, is connecting Helston to... We could run a train line out to Helston. We could connect it to Midhurst. That might be what we do, but that's not going to be what we do today, because I think we're about done for today. Little bit of micromanagement here and there, little bit of expanded industry here and there. Not as much micro as I was hoping to do, but I'm going to be honest, micromanagement in hindsight sounds really cool. Or with foresight, I don't know. Micromanagement, when you're like, oh, I'm going to micro everything and make it all good and cool and efficient. Like, when you say it out loud, it sounds really fun in a way. It's like, you're going to make everything super efficient. That's great. But then you actually sit down to do it and you're like, oh, this is just a lot of math. And I'm going to be honest, I don't, one of my least favorite things about this game is the amount of math that I have to do. Don't get me wrong. I'll do it because I have to, but I just, it doesn't make for good television. All right. That's how I'm going to put it. It doesn't make for good TV. All right. That's how we're going to look at this. Anyway, hopefully this place will upgrade again. Hopefully these farms can continue producing the way they've been producing, and hopefully good things will come out of all of that. It is nice that we can go ahead and connect Helston to some things as well. So we've got some stuff. We've got some expansion we can do. And I'm thinking in the next episode as well, I've kind of got an idea. I'm thinking that Norton is going to need an airport. I think we can get a nice, big, proper airport in Norton and start connecting out to everywhere. I think we'll keep the airfield. I do like the idea of keeping the airfield, but I think a proper airport in Norton would be a really good idea. So that's a little something we can do. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see how that goes. But for the time being, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And oh my God, that's a lot of traffic.